What is up, you guys? This is Clash of the Horns, just making a little video. Basically, I got 3 headlines going into the 2019 season prior to training camp even starting, and there's 3 things I really want to talk about. So number 1 is the offensive line, and we already have Andrew Whitworth, we have Rob Hammerstein, and we have Austin Blythe. We drafted a lot of young offensive line talent, because we have so many. We made sure to get a young, sturdy offensive line potential and just try to, build them up, try to teach them and coach them into great offensive linemen. But we still have a lot of young guys coming into this team. So what can we do? How should we start? How should we look at the Rams' offensive line issues? Because to me, there's 2 things that I enjoy from this. We get younger, we get faster. One thing that really bugged me last season was how John Sullivan was very slow. He was getting weaker. You can see that he wasn't the same center he was back in 2012, which is when he was the center for the Vikings when, Peterson was out there balling out. So he comes into this group. He gives us a little bit of improvement, but from what Barnes used to be. Remember Barnes, the center for the Rams back in 2016? Well, he was an improvement from that year. He comes in, but he was an older guy. So now we have Brian Allen. We have Austin Blythe, who's our right guard, but he also played center with the, originally I think he was a center in college, and he played center for the Indianapolis Colts, but then he ended up letting it go, and the Rams ended up picking him up and putting him at right guard. So there's certain things that I like about this. As we get younger and we get faster. Roger Saffold's best years are behind him. He's 31. He's going to get a little older, a little slower. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Andrew Whitworth, but Andrew Whitworth's been, aging like fine wine. So he's still up there, top 4 left tackle in the league. So we're good. But we get faster in the interior, or we get stronger. We brought in guys like Brian Allen, Joseph Noteboom's a left guard, originally a left tackle. Bobby Evans, Edwards, you name it. Those guys are a lot younger, a lot quicker, and they're coachable. And I think that's what the first thing that the Rams are looking at is these guys are coachable. They'll be able to be plugged in, and they'll be able to move forward. So when we start preseason, how do we determine who starts? Do we go by seniority? Because for sure we already know that the 2 positions that are locked in is left tackle, right tackle. So everyone else in between is kind of, can be moved around if need be. So what if, this would be my opinion, is I'm going by brute strength and speed and technique. I would have those 2 guys start, obviously Whitworth and Havenstein. But then I would also put Joseph Noteboom at left guard. I would put Austin Blythe at center, and then I would put Bobby Evans at right guard. Why? Because Bobby Evans is a really strong physical guy. I like his style. I like the physicality it brings. Joseph Noteboom's very good at pass blocking. He might not be the strongest, but he has good technique and he's quick. So in screen passes and protecting Jared Goff in the pocket as a pass protector, he's going to be good. My only thing is his strength. But then that's when, Andrew Whitworth comes in to help him out. And then we have Austin Blythe, who has good technique. He's actually overall a really good player. And he played center, he played guard, so nothing's really new to him. So that's one of the reasons why I would pick that as my offensive line, starting offensive line. But then you got to look at it, okay, so seniority. So then they'll have Brian Allen come in at center, and then Joseph Noteboom at left guard, and then Austin Blythe at right guard. Or do we go by performance? Do we go by who plays best in preseason? Who shows it in training camp? Because that's kind of what I've been noticing with the Rams, is it's basically seniority. Have you been with the Rams for a longer period of time? Do they kind of like you? Then most likely you're going to have time on the field. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is Sean McVay. And I've noticed that on TV shows and, like podcasts and things like that, it really bugs him the way that the Rams went out in the Super Bowl. So does that change his coaching methods? Does that make it the Rams are going to be more conservative, less risk-taking down the field. Is he going to be a little different with Jared Goff? Is he going to be like, is he going to talk to him? Is he going to demand perfection from Jared Goff? Will that piss Jared Goff up? Or would he take the same approach and keep doing the same thing as he always been doing, because he's more of a high-flying offense type of guy than a guy that plays it conservative, kind of like Jeff Fisher. But Jeff Fisher is the total opposite of Sean McVay. So is he going to take it to a minimum? Is he going to be a little bit laid back, or is he going to go full throttle? Also, when you're talking about Sean McVay, is he going to be asking more from Wade Phillips' defense? Because Wade Phillips' defense actually got a lot more help this year with pass rushing help. They got a legit nose tackle now who can probably just play that simple role. More secondary help, while the Rams boosted up on offensive linemen and a really great running back. So is Sean McVay gonna, force Todd Gurley to keep getting more carries, or is he gonna kind of split it down the middle with Darrell Henderson? That's what I'm kind of looking at Sean McVay, and I'm thinking, like, what's this guy thinking? Because he was on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and he's been on podcasts, and it bugs him. The Rams scored, an average of 30 points a game, and in the Super Bowl, in the biggest game, the biggest stage of them all, only scored 3 points against the Patriots. A Patriots team that is by far not as talented as the Rams in overall, talented players. Then we do have Wade Phillips as a coach, but we also have Sean McVay. Maybe was the stage too high for Sean McVay, or was it too high for Jared Goff? That's what I want to know. Or was it both? Because when the Rams win games, we give Jared Goff a lot of credit, and then we also gave Sean McVay a ton of credit too, but we mostly give it to the quarterback. But what about in losses? Huge losses like the Super Bowl. Do we look at Sean McVay as the problem? Didn't he do enough to protect Jared Goff? Or was Jared Goff too slow in his reads? That's another thing. I know Sean McVay bugs the shit out of him. I know that a lot of people talk to him about it. And when they talk about the Super Bowl with the Rams in it, some of them don't even think the Rams should have been in the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty sure that bugs him too. But overall, I think the fact that we only scored 3 points bugs Sean McVay a lot. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I think he sticks to his guns, or actually even goes out more and just flat out attacks the same way he's been doing, or a little bit more. Or could he be more conservative with this play calling? Let me know what you think. The last thing I want to talk about is Jared Goff. Is Jared Goff ever going to win us a Super Bowl? Does that go in the back of his mind? Is he going to be progressing as one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Because according to the NFL experts and everyone else with an opinion that isn't a Rams fan, Jared Goff is average at best, or he's okay, but then in big moments he chokes. Is he a Jim Everett type of quarterback, or is he going to be a Kurt Warner, a guy that goes and gets us a Super Bowl and becomes larger than life? That's up to Jared Goff. But is he that good? Do you think Jared Goff has, does he think, man, we went to the Super Bowl and I only scored 3 points, so now does that mess up his confidence? Hopefully not. I expect the Rams to be a contender for the next 10 years. The way that they're set up right now with the coaching staff, with the players, in both offense and defense, the way they approach the game, I think the Rams are going to be a really good team for a really long time. But can Jared Goff take that step? Can he become clutch at crucial times, especially in the Super Bowl? I know he did in the NFC Championship game, and a lot of people don't even give him credit for beating the Saints the way he did. He ended up facing adversity. They were after him constantly, but no one gives him credit. And that's one of the things that bugs me as a Rams fan, is they're not giving him the respect he deserves. Basically, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl, but everyone pretends like it wasn't Jared Goff, or it wasn't the Rams doing it, was the referees. So do you think that Jared Goff has bad, self-esteem, or confidence was ruined because of the way that they went out in the Super Bowl? That's just me. I'm just wondering what is going through Jared's head and what could be the downfall for the Rams. I don't think it's going to happen. People think that we're going to have a for sure Super Bowl hangover, but I mean, I don't see it happening. I think that the Rams will come back and become like really good, and they'll make sure that they, you know, stick to their guns, and the NFC West isn't going to go get any better anytime soon. Sure, a lot of teams got a little bit better, but it's not saying much. The Rams are above all, overall better than most of those teams, so we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you think. Do the Rams have the perfect offensive line to get better, or are they going to take a step back? Is Sean McVay going to be the same coach that he's always been, or is he also going to take a step back in the way that he coaches the team or the way that he addresses Jared Goff? Because from what I've seen through interviews, Sean McVay has Jared's back, but what if Jared starts sucking again out of nowhere? Like, is he able to go to Blake Bortles, or is he going to stick to Jared and see what happens? To me, I think everything stays the same. I think they go to the Super Bowl, and I think they end up winning the Super Bowl this year. That's just my feeling. What do you guys think? Until next time, you guys, go Rams.